my sons are off.
Pod Force One.
We ain't live yet, are we?
Yeah.
Oh, we are. Cool.
You hit that right at the perfect time
There
when
we go.
when the music was coming down.
Okay.
Crescendo.
Decrescendo.
Yeah, decrescendo.
Yeah, whatever. Okay. Welcome, everybody, to Pod Force One. We got a lot of Kentucky topics to talk about and a lot of national topics to talk about. And right off the bat, we want to talk about KFC headquarters moving to Texas. So
Right off the bat.
losing 125 employees, and I know it's a
Turn me
good paying
down.
jobs out of Louisville, and so the main question is, will it remain Kentucky Fried Chicken? Will they go from KFC to TFC?
Well, you know why they moved, right?
Well, I'm sure it was a tax. They won't have to pay as many taxes.
Yum Brands.
Well, I know they're headquartered down there.
They're already headquartered down there, and Pizza Hut is already down there.
Wait. Yum Brands is the headquarters is in Louisville.
No,
Not anymore.
just KFC was.
Okay.
Their other two big chains, they got a bunch, but the other two big chains are in Texas for tax purposes.
Well,
of course,
Taco Bell is technically in California,
technically,
and
it's going to end up in Texas too.
Yeah, probably you're right. Yeah.
So they said they're going to leave some kind of presence here and open up some kind of special KFC in Louisville. But they didn't. I didn't see anywhere where it's in any kind of detail.
I mean, I personally don't. I mean, it's 100 jobs, and I get it. I do know that KFC and Taco Bell and Pizza Hut, they're all under the Yum Brands umbrella. That it's 100 jobs. I mean, KFC for them to change the name, it would be absolutely an insane amount of money for them to change the name to KFC. I know you were probably just saying that in jest.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah,
but not on 30. They're the second largest chain behind McDonald's with over 30,000 stores. They're not. It cost them $20 billion just to do the name change. But what about Yum Center?
Ooh, I didn't even think of it that connection right there. I mean,
I guess it won't be Yum Center.
no, that's under contract though.
Yeah, but when it runs out,
Well, I mean, yeah, that happens everywhere else. Everywhere else you go, I mean,
most times they renew, or a lot of times they do. But with them going to Texas,
yeah,
what's that going to do to
golly, it could end up being the Clark's Pumping Shop.
Oh gosh.
Clark, and then we can start doing those goofy ass commercials.
Yeah. I mean, it could be any number of things.
Yeah.
But I mean, Yum is it's a pretty cool name.
Yeah.
But it could. I mean, there's some TD Arena in the NBA. It's a
Boston,
stock thing.
Boston, yes, they where the Bruins play. That's where
It's
the
TD Arena, right?
yes,
Yeah.
and in fact, Mr. Jacobs has a farm right over next to Windy Corner in Fayette County.
And who would Mr. Jacobs be?
He would be the owner of the Boston Bruins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the owner of TD Arena.
You know what Boston Bruins? What they play, Eric?
Basketball.
Nope.
Close.
What is it?
Keep guessing. There's only like
Oh,
it's hockey.
hockey.
Yeah, another meaningless sport. No,
Yeah. Even
sorry.
though I saw a post you made that said MLB, NFL, NBA learned from hockey from that Four Nation tournament.
That wasn't me.
It wasn't you?
No, it wasn't me.
Oh, somebody. I said, what the hell are you even talking about?
That was the other nut job. That was probably Fitzpatrick.
I don't know.
It could be.
It's the
But
other-
He's an avid sportsman.
yeah, hockey. Yeah.
so is that all the KFC stuff we
Well,
got?
I mean, they've been around forever. They used to be on, or it's part of it was a spinoff because they were owned by Pepsi at one time, Pepsi Cola.
Yeah, and I made a post that said they took Kentucky out of Kentucky Fried Chicken when they named it KFC because we're too stupid to figure out they still fry their chicken.
Yeah.
And now they're moving to Texas, so they're taking KFC out of Kentucky.
Right.
So
But they are. Everybody in the world is either owned by BlackRock or Vanguard eventually.
And State
Eventually.
Street. And
Yeah.
State Street.
Yeah, and
Those
State
three.
Street. So I mean, they can do all the stuff they
And
want
the-
to in
and
Texas,
the-
but eventually,
Right.
you're going to get the BlackRock and Vanguard and State. Yeah,
And
All
then
roads
the
lead there.
largest shareholder of each of those companies is each other.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's incestuous. So they own the planet. So, another thing it was, darn screen. Another thing that was going on was there's a bill, let's see what Senate Bill 179 about looking at putting nuclear energy back in Kentucky. Finally. I know y'all don't know much about it, but
well, thank you, Craig.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think y'all told me that beforehand.
I know, just kidding.
But I've been pushing, I've been pushing nuclear and hydrogen as the ultimate fuels
Yeah,
on my Facebook page and stuff, and hopefully they'll get this going. And I talked with Senator Williams about it last week, and said that Canada, France, I think Germany, they're experimenting with thorium, and then a
Right.
molten salt cooling system where it won't explode.
that's pretty cool.
If something goes wrong, it won't melt down. I guess that would be a better word. And thorium is everywhere, and you can't make nuclear weapons out of thorium leftovers.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. Let's talk about nuclear energy just generally for a
I've
minute.
studied Holiday Inn Express other days. So
Okay.
go ahead.
All right. Yeah. Is it fission or fusion? I don't know it. I get them mixed.
Fusion's the ultimate goal.
Right. So cold fusion. Right. So let's talk about nuclear energy and the people that have pushed back, and the people that have pushed back on nuclear energy, and then let's think of just within our lifetimes, the different nuclear accidents that we've had.
3.
Okay, well, I'm thinking. All right, here's what I can come up with. Okay, I know a little bit about it. Maybe I can think of 3 Mile Island.
Yep. And nobody died there.
I think of Chernobyl,
Yep.
and I
And a
can
bunch
think
of Russians died there, but you got to look at Russian technology.
right,
And
I can think of Fukushima.
right, and nobody died there.
But we were told
And that was a 9.0 earthquake followed up by a tidal wave,
right.
and still
The
nobody died.
tsunami. Yeah, that's what.
Oh, excuse me, Pacific Ocean. It's a tsunami.
That's right. That's right.
It is.
And it was caused by the earthquake.
Correct.
So let's think about.
Scare tactics by the media.
I'm telling you, yeah. Let's think about what we were told. I have done no research on this topic. I just had this in my brain.
Well, let me add another little thing to 3 Mile Island. Bill Gates is going to buy one of the reactors, or he signed a contract.
Well, hang on, don't go there yet. Let's finish this thought, okay?
Well, this is still all part of nuclear
All right.
energy.
Well, let's
Too much in
Let's
here.
crescendo to
let's
that.
just wait. Let's wait till we get there, okay? Here's what I remember. Here's what I remember from Fukushima, because it's been the most recent. I remember there were people that were saying that the tides were going to move from Japan, and they were eventually going to make their way over to the West Coast, and it was going to be a major environmental catastrophe for everything, all aquatic life
Right.
on the West Coast. I
You-
mean,
you heard about that 2-headed whale, right?
no.
Neither did I.
Oh, well, yeah, but that's my point. Right after, why is there such a pushback for nuclear energy? Because we're told that it's, I guess, you get the images of people glowing from, having exposure to nuclear waste and stuff. But has any of that ever really come to fruition from?
No. And a good thing about the SMRs, the small modular reactors, is they can use spent fuel as part of their energy source and burn down more of the nuclear radiation out of those spent rods. So wherever we got it buried everywhere, they can reuse that fuel to run in those reactors.
So right now, the way I understand it, and with my small knowledge of how nuclear waste is disposed of, we're taking those spent rods, and we are burying them deep underground. Is that right?
Yeah, in granite type mountains. Yeah.
All right.
There are different places around the world that they're kept. I've always wondered why we just don't load them up on rockets and shoot them into the sun.
That's probably pretty expensive. I mean, how much, really,
I'm just throwing it out there.
no, I'm
you
just
know.
asking. Well,
'Cause,
it
I mean,
depends.
they're pellets. They're little pellets. You can get a lot of them on a rocket.
Do you got to do that every week, or do you got to do that every 5 years?
I don't know, not in America because, well, Europe started shutting down theirs. Then they started freezing to death because they had a cold winter and they didn't have no full-time energy source because the windmills froze and the solar panels were covered in snow. So they couldn't generate no electric.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So people were dying from hypothermia. I mean, it's pretty.
But that nuclear energy, damn it, it's dangerous.
Don't point your finger at me.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
It's about as dangerous as us having nuclear submarines, aircraft carriers, and probably top of surface vessels now
Right.
that have been running nuclear engines for 50 years.
Right.
Well, but you got to think about the total mass of uranium in a submarine versus a reactor.
You could run a car on it forever. Do you know that? Pellet about that big. You run a car your whole life.
Yeah.
But, you know, the oil company won't let you do it. The oil cartels, and
That's right.
that's getting into conspiracy.
And what-
and
That's
that-
getting into conspiracy.
And BlackRock.
Yeah,
and BlackRock.
State Street and Vanguard.
State Street and Vanguard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, they haven't figured out how they make the same amount of money.
No, y'all, they buy it. They own everything and everybody.
I know, but if you put the oil industry, oil and coal and all of those sectors way, if you decrease their usage and utilization of product, that takes away money
Oh,
that
yeah.
people
Well,
make off of it.
I mean, coal's the ultimate fuel because it's cheap. It's easy to get. Everybody's using it but the United States. China's getting most of their coal from Australia. Europe gets their coal from us, some coal from us, and they're burning it so they don't freeze to death. But whole nother topic. We talked about that some last week. I see something else, buddy.
Yeah. Did you tag me in this post? Because I'm trying to share it.
I tagged you in it.
Okay.
You should be tagged in it.
All right. Just checking.
On what post is that?
Here we
Yeah.
go. Got it now. Sorry. Took a minute. I'm behind the 8 ball here, man. I should have shared this a long time ago.
Oh,
Yeah, I got excited about nuclear energy and KFC Yum Brands.
okay. Well, let's get more excited then. Mitch McConnell has decided to step down, and I had to be working with Daniel Cameron because as soon as he announced he wasn't running again, within an hour, Daniel Cameron said he's going to be running for that spot, and then within a couple hours after that, Andy Barr blasts Cameron. Are y'all aware of any of that? Y'all read anything on that?
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Go ahead, Eric.
I'm sharing our post. Go ahead.
Oh,
I'm sharing it over to our Podforce One page.
yeah. I mean, Cameron got the snot beat out of him last time.
Yes.
While Trump won Kentucky by 35 points, 30 points, whatever it was.
I was shocked at how
Cameron
bad
should have
Cameron got
walked.
beat.
He should have walked into the governor's mansion.
I agree.
All our House reps won. All our everybody federally won,
Mhm.
and except in Louisville,
I-
but that's always Democrat.
I think our two large Democrat cities probably hurt that more than anything.
I think Daniel Cameron hurt himself by the way he handled Breonna Taylor.
Yes.
That's just me.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
That's in that article. I shared.
Well, and that's
All right.
well, and that's why I say the Lexington and Louisville caused him a lot of issues there.
Now, my friend from Florida, Brian, said that McConnell needed to step down some time ago. But now because I think one of y'all asked me about that. If McConnell stepped down now, then Governor Beshear gets to appoint a Democrat.
Right.
I thought he had to appoint
He
the
can
same party.
He can appoint himself if he wants. I mean, governors have done that too. But so McConnell's going to stay until 26, I think January 2nd or 3rd of 26. But the race is on.
Right.
Have y'all heard any others? I mean,
I have not.
And I don't mean this.
Governor Beshear's not going to run, and Congressman Comer's not going to run for Senate.
I don't mean this in a way to degrade McConnell any, but he may have a trouble staying alive until then. I mean, they're already pushing him around in a wheelchair, and they may.
Well,
have,
he fell last week again.
I get it, but you know, you've been around people dying and death as much
Yeah.
as I have. Typically, once you fall,
Yeah.
I mean, that is typically
It's tough.
that is
At
tough
that age.
to recover from. So, I mean, you know, McConnell's going to have and I wish him well, but you know, there may be some, you know, other situations.
Well,
there may be another outcome.
I remember, I don't know if this guy was old or something, but they carried him in on a stretcher so he could cast a tie-breaking vote.
Oh gosh.
I think I remember that, but you know,
The
McConnell's
problem.
going to stay there. McConnell's been a great leader. He did everything he wanted. He reshaped the judicial system.
Mhm.
He reshaped the Supreme Court. You know, Trump couldn't have got it done without McConnell. He's got his things. Did he do enough for Kentucky? I don't believe so.
No.
But as Senate Majority Leader, he should have been able to just throw all kinds of highway funds towards us.
Yes.
Used to be that's how there's a lot
Right.
of stuff done in Eastern Kentucky.
Hal
That-
Rogers.
Hal Rogers, that was done along, and
Yeah.
don't think he didn't do that with McConnell, with the help
Right,
of
well,
McConnell.
sure, yeah,
All
because
right.
it had to go through. But you know, it shouldn't have took 30 years to get that bridge built. And I know it's environmentalists suing them right and left every time they turned around. But he'll go down as one of the greatest senators ever in the history of America, and it's cool that he's from Kentucky.
Which I find ironic considering how much hate you read for McConnell.
Well, he's cast a couple of no votes against some of Trump's picks,
Mhm.
and Trump's got that 40% base that's going to die with him.
True.
So they're ripping him a new one, calling him a rhino and all that stuff. But Trump couldn't have got done with all the judges he wanted done his first term without McConnell. It never would have happened.
Oh no.
Well,
And unfortunately, I don't know anyone. You know, we don't have anyone in Kentucky that would have the political clout and ability to get things done the way McConnell can.
Right, but we've got some up and comers. You know, Rand Paul's he's been around enough,
Yeah.
and James Comer, Representative Comer's, he's getting a lot of cred in the House with the committees he's leading. Of course, him and Jim Jordan are on Fox News all the time about the
Right.
various.
I think Comer's
investigations.
going to run for governor.
I do too.
That's my opinion.
I
think,
personally would not want him to.
right,
I want him to stay in Congress
right.
because he's getting there now where he can get into the upper areas of things. But if you want to run for president, you got to be a governor.
I have heard some. You get back to the Senate 4 race, and I've heard some stuff on the ground. You know, you've got Cameron and you've got Barr.
Mm-hmm. Andy Barr's going to run.
Well, sure, but then I've also heard a name being bantered about a guy named Nate Morris. Have you heard that name?
Yeah,
Yeah. So Nate Morris, you know,
not
Lexington.
in a positive light.
Well, I'm just telling you, Lexington businessman. So, you know, that's been thrown out there too. So,
Thank you, Brian. I agree.
yeah.
He said we got some good congressmen from Kentucky.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah, we do. And
Yeah.
Eric, you got anything on McConnell?
Not anything else.
Let's see.
I'll jump in. I'm not shy.
Okay. Let's see. What was the other? Was there another Kentucky thing we wanted to knock out?
I will talk about basketball later on.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, God, I don't even want to talk about it. I'm wearing a hat because I am a true blue fan. But here's the other one, the fun one that the whole country's talking about. Everybody's talking about it. It's Fort Knox. Is the goal there? You know, Doge says they're going to go there. President Trump has authorized them to go do an audit of Fort Knox to see if the gold's there. Do y'all think those 1-point-some million troy ounces of gold are there?
It's my understanding that some of them has moved. And yeah, I think the last time anyone has been in there is what, 1974?
in the 70s, yeah.
But I've also read that they moved a large portion of it somewhere else.
Where?
China.
Did we sell it to China?
No one knows.
India?
Bob Menendez is desk drawer.
Gold Bar Bob. You know about Gold Bar Bob?
I do not.
Democrat senator from, I think, New Jersey. He was bought off by Arab countries. They paid him off in cars. Egypt.
Yeah.
Gold bars,
Uh-huh.
literal gold bars, cars, vacations, all kinds of crap. I mean, and he's presently going.
Think
to
about
jail.
how bad. Think about how bad that corruption had to be, because he's basically the only. And don't think there's aren't plenty of Republicans that have done the exact same thing, but think
They
about.
just hadn't been caught yet. Is that what you're saying?
Just think about in that environment, in the absolute cesspool of what is in Washington right now. How blatant does that corruption have to be? And who did you piss off where that you're
What
going to
a
get
did you have?
a Democrat, in the Democrat DC to get thrown under the bus like that? I mean, so it had to be 1,000 times worse than
Right. They had so much evidence the Democrats had to go against him.
yeah.
They didn't circle the wagons around him or nothing like that. But that's that's another day. So you think the goal's there, Eric?
I don't think all the gold is there. No, I think there is gold there.
Not probably. You think James Bond got it when they did Goldfinger?
No.
But it's an interesting topic nationally because everybody's talking about it.
I think you're right, Eric. I think there still is gold. I mean, it's like if you figure out a way, you got to realize, money will make people do some crazy, crazy things. And anytime that there is money involved, then it is ripe for abuse. And I'm talking everything from gambling on sports to horse racing to disability, to people getting on disability, to receiving Social Security checks. It doesn't matter what
Illegal
it is.
alien payoffs.
There are going to
hotels.
be people that their full-time job, what they're trying to do is they're going to try and find out, like they did Eric Kahn. You remember Eric Kahn? Just like they did him. How can we screw up an administrative law judge, or how can we screw up get in with the Social Security where we can go in and we can get a monthly stipend? Because once you're in, you're in.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like
Because they're not going to check it.
it's
'cause there's so much money
residuals,
going
man.
in. Yeah.
If you get let's just say you get $2,000 a month and you only get 3 people. Well, okay, that's another 6,000, and then the next month you get 7 people. Well, just think about those people that do it on the big scale, man. That are actively trying to take money from the
But
government.
there was a thing in state government, if I remember this correctly. A guy figured out a way to get checks sent from the state treasury to a post office box in Indiana because he knew that they didn't check anything like, say, for example, under $50,000. They just kind of didn't worry about it. But he did it for multiple years and bought farms, cattle, cars, vacations, all that kind of stuff. But then he got greedy and he went over that 50,000. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I do not, but it doesn't surprise
But,
me.
yeah, he got caught quick and they grabbed everything back. I think it was over $800,000.
But back to the gold, in order to get the gold out and somewhere else, do you know how many people have to be in on it?
Oh, you mean to steal it?
Yeah.
I don't think there's no way they steal it. I just think the government sold it. So 'cause
And-
China's buying every ounce of gold they can get.
And that would be the likelihood. I mean,
yeah,
well, you mentioned Gold Bar Bob.
yeah.
It obviously it's not it's not in the possession of someone as an individual.
They found gold bars in his house.
Yeah, but did they come from Fort Knox?
No.
Stay on topic,
Wait a
dude.
minute. Hold on.
No,
Hold,
I'm
God.
just saying.
hold on. So,
Where's my phone drop?
I'm asking how many people do have to be on it, in on it.
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, how many military guards are there at any given time? You can't get within eyesight of that building that they don't know where you're at.
Do they follow orders?
Of course,
You'll
they do.
That's
never,
my question.
But you'll never get everyone. I don't think you would ever get everyone in. There's always going to be that one guy that will absolutely not do wrong.
It zero chance, less than zero, that it would ever be
Oh yeah.
walked out the door. No way in the world it would be walked out the door.
I'm going to say that it's not going to. I'm going to say, here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say that the amount that we have recorded that should be there will not match what is there.
It's like
I agree.
4,500. Is it 4,500
Don't know how much it
tons?
is.
I
Don't,
thought it was
don't
like
have a clue.
450 troy ounce, 450 million troy ounces or billion troy ounces.
I'm just going to say it's not going to match.
Yeah,
Who knows? Somebody knows.
yeah. Buddy can find it on there. I think it's 4,500 tons. That makes sense. 4,500 tons, 4,500 pounds, which is a massive difference.
Brian asked, "What if it's not there? What's the fallout?"
Nuclear fallout.
Blame Trump.
It'd be Trump's fault. Well,
I'm
and,
sure.
and that's the thing. I
It's
mean,
his fault that plane crashed in Canada.
right.
So
I mean, what is the effect of it not being there? We're not backing money with it.
well, and I saw this on the news. This is a good thing you said that. It's currently valued on the federal books at like $30 an ounce, but it's $2,500 an ounce in today's market. So it's gone from a few $100 million to. Are you looking up what gold is?
147 million ounces. 0.3. 147.3
is?
million ounces in Fort Knox, supposedly.
The last bid price for gold, $2,936.10.
Yep, that's right. Right there it is.
Yeah, I got an app for
Yeah,
that.
I got an app for it too.
Where I used
It's
to,
cool.
where I used to buy and sell it all the time.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ooh, big gold bar, Eric. GB.
No, scrap gold.
Oh, well, it's still gold.
It is. Send it off to a refinery, and they
Well,
convert
listen,
it to 24.
I know this is kind of off topic, but I'm going to give it out to our listeners. The funniest thing to do with gold ever is the Leprechaun, the Mobile in Leprechaun. The Leprechaun in Mobile. Look it up on YouTube.
Mhm.
It is the absolute funniest news report you will ever see in your life.
The leprechaun.
It's
and
called
the-
The Leprechaun in Mobile. Don't look at the remix version and all the time. Find the original Leprechaun in Mobile. It will make your side split.
Okay.
I'll show you guys when we get off the air here.
Okay. All right. Ukraine war. Biden says we're going to rebuild Ukraine. I don't know where in the hell we're going to get $1 trillion to do it. Trump wants to rebuild Gaza. There's $500 billion. Maybe probably more than that. Why are we doing that kind of stuff when we got disasters in Eastern Kentucky, Western North Carolina, Hawaii, Florida, and Los Angeles? Los Angeles, well, we'll talk about that in a minute, but why do y'all think we should rebuild these countries that we didn't bomb? We supplied them with bombs, but we didn't bomb them.
No, I mean, and I've talked about this in extremes the last several probably month or several weeks to a month. I'm all for helping. There is all since the whole Doge thing came out, and you watch people just absolutely flipping their lid. All the outrage. I'm all for helping other countries, and there's a lot of strategic reasons, or if you want to use it, a Bush Jr. word, strategery.
I knew it was coming.
There's a lot of strategery
Yeah.
in helping these countries. I'm not against helping Ukraine at a level that we can afford, but I think we need to put ours first. Especially when you mentioned North Carolina, there's still a disaster.
Right. That is unbelievable.
Yes, and there's not enough wealth in that area to handle it themselves.
Where's the United Nations Relief Fund? Where's all these other 190?
Do we ever get any of that UN relief fund?
Canada wants
I
to
put
give
a
it.
post out on my Facebook page, and a few people said, "Yeah, they give us money." Well, I've never seen it.
Canada's been giving us a lot of crap. Let them put some funds up for them.
Canada, remember, they even said they would take California.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look. Go ahead. There are some serious geopolitical concerns about securing Europe and making sure that they
Is
are.
it our responsibility to secure
That's
Europe?
just telling you, man. I'm just telling you. I'm asking you.
Let him finish the thought.
No
No.
shit. there are some serious geopolitical concerns about making sure that Europe is still our ally. I mean, bar none. You had Vance go over there and make a speech and say, "Look, why are we backing you guys if you guys aren't basically backing the First Amendment?" So to think that there's not a power shift or a power struggle within the superpowers and the minor superpowers, the people that we control right now, is short-sighted.
Right.
Because we're so concerned about right now. In the United States, we're concerned about views on TikTok. We're concerned about making sure that our little pet projects are going to be in front of the city council, when there are bigger concerns right now that in fact it's quite scary at times. When you look at what's going on in the world. Being said, $100 billion. Zelensky just said, well, Joe said it was a loan. It was a grant. It was a grant. We can't account for $100 billion of the $174 billion
Right.
that's been allocated.
Or more.
Yeah. That. So how it just, that type of money, just, it's hard for me to grasp. It's hard for me to think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Europe, 500 million people, a little over 500 million people. We're 330 million people. Their European economy is close to ours if you take all the countries together. It's close to our economy, yet we defend them. Everything comes back to us defending them. That's why Norway, the Netherlands, all these places got 4-day work weeks and free college, because their military is the bathtub and a couple of Boy Scout troops. Yeah. I mean, Switzerland basically doesn't have a military, but everybody praises all the stuff they do. And we spend $900 billion a year on our military to protect everybody else. What if we took $450 billion out and said, Europe, as Zelensky, Ukraine's president, said the other day, we need a European army, a dedicated European army.
No, I agree.
From all the countries, because if they say Ukraine's our ally, what can they do for us?
Well, and that's what annoys me is people want to complain about military spending, and you'll see it a lot. But at the same time, they want us to go out on missions to save other countries and protect other countries. Well, you can't complain about a military budget and then expect our military to go out to go protect everyone.
Yeah.
I don't know what the split is, but how much of our military spending really could be accredited for helping someone else other than us.
Ukraine is $74 billion.
True.
And then we've given some food assistance. Europe's claim is that they've not given military assistance; they've given humanitarian assistance, but nowhere near to the level that we have. And if you look it up, there's numbers all over the place on what it is. But what you said, buddy, Zelensky said on TV today or yesterday that he negotiated with Biden that the first $100 billion was a grant, so he's not paying that back. And what brought that up was Trump wanting $500 billion back in rare earth minerals to pay for for everything that we've given Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
And Zelensky said, "Well, the first $100 billion was a grant," and then of course he can't find that other $101 billion, so that's over that 174. He said that a couple weeks ago. Yeah. I can't even find it. I don't know that it was ever came here. And then for Biden, thank God Biden didn't win, to say we're going to rebuild Ukraine. We can't rebuild Western North Carolina.
No.
In the mountains.
Right.
And we stop good Samaritans from going in there. And they just said, screw it. Remember when all those guys with their helicopters were flying food in and everything? Mm-hmm. And the feds tried to stop them, and they said, screw you, we're going in anyway. Who does that?
So, some of the arguments that I hear about why we should, rebuild Ukraine, and let's go back to, the reason that we're even protecting Ukraine in the first place was because of NATO and because of aggression.
They're not a member of NATO.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying about them. I mean, the reason we are protecting them is because we are surrounding them with our NATO allies.
Because Europe is scared of Russia.
Yes. Yeah, and so it's a geopolitical thing. It's they are in the way. They're closer to Russia than we are, and they can launch a ground war. They can't launch a ground war with us without having to come in from the north or to the south
Yeah.
or through the
Through
ocean.
Canada, which also has no army,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, and so and NATO has been they've been growing. We're adding. When's the last? We just added.
We added Sweden, Switzerland, who've been normally neutral, and some people were wanting to push Ukraine to get in, but why? What does Ukraine have to offer to protect these other? What does?
Well, Ukraine's had multiple
out
opportunities
of
to
NATO.
join.
But Sweden used to be Holland, right?
No, that's the Netherlands.
Or Netherlands. Excuse me. The
was
Netherlands. They
Holland.
used to be Holland,
Right.
and
They'll
now
throw
they're.
some wooden shoes at them. I mean, if it was me,
You hear them coming. Clip,
Yeah.
clip, clop,
Yeah.
clop, clop.
I mean, they're talking now. Zelensky's pushed them, and he's not even in NATO. Macron in France, they're saying we should get our spending budget of GDP to military to 5%.
Right.
Well, that'd be fine, but let's get to 2% first, because there were only, I think, before Trump came in office first time, there was only like 5 out of the 31 countries that had met their 2% goal, and Germany was one of them that had not met it,
Mhm.
and they're the biggest economy in Europe. And so now most of them have hit that 2%, except for maybe 2 or 3 probably. And now they're wanting to ramp it up because, Americans are tired of protecting other countries that won't do anything to help themselves. They won't build out their own military, and because they depend on us. I mean, we know Canada. There's no doubt Canada depends on us. They can insult us, boo our national anthem, but they still depend on us to protect them. And that's why Russia won't come down or China won't come down through Canada. And then the cartels will protect Mexico.
As Brian said, agreed. Trump is trying to find ROI on any investment in other countries, Ukraine, Congo, Gaza. No free handouts. I agree,
Right.
Brian. I totally agree, and I agree with the whole methodology. And he brought it up the first time. There's so many people that's done nothing but take from us, and we get nothing in return.
Right.
I understand if you're an economy that you don't have the money, or you don't have a large enough economy. Germany definitely is not a
Darn
poor
sure.
country.
Well, and there's one thing you said, Eric, that people take from us. That's correct. Here's the deal Ukraine's got with Europe and us. Us, the USA, they don't have to pay us back.
Right.
But they're paying back every country in Europe all the money that they're giving to Ukraine.
Mhm.
They've made those deals. So they're paying back Europe, but they're not
Well, here-
paying us
here
back.
we are.
And we're probably 65% of all the money they get.
Right.
And they argue. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Say, and you talk, you take these small amounts of money, and everybody goes, "Well, it's only $10 billion. It's only like, yes, but if you add all this waste together, at what point do you hit $1 trillion or $2 trillion? I mean, when you're
When's
sitting,
it real money?
when is the we're not talking about a $50,000 check that went to some leader's cousin. It's like, okay, that's probably not worth fighting to track that down. But how many zeros need to be there before we are supposed to care?
One of the pushbacks or one of the arguments I hear about, the endless gushing of U.S. prosperity and the pushing of democracy through NGOs like USAID and that kind of stuff. As I hear is, well, we have the money. We've got the money. We're the richest country in the world, and you really look at our balance sheet, and we don't have the money.
Well,
We're deficit spending, and you look at that clock, that debt clock. You tell me we've got money? We don't have any money.
Yeah, if we were a corporation, the IRS would have probably already told us to shut down.
long ago, because we're spending $2 trillion more than we're taking in, and
Right.
it's. I don't even know how you can do it. Now we're obviously not giving it all overseas, but we're damn sure wasting a hell of a lot of money.
Oh no, for sure.
When does it? When I'm asking you all this because I don't know. When does that number that our debt get so bad?
Percentage of GDP.
When does everything hit the fan? What
We're
is
not
what
far
is the
away.
number? What
We're
is
not
the
far
number?
away. We're not far away.
Where inflation is so high that we can't afford anything, that we don't have the money to pay our debts, and then everything falls, the crap falls from the top and it goes
Yeah.
down. What is that number? Who knows? Does anybody know?
I'm sure the economists know, the Treasury knows,
Right.
but Congress can't stop themselves. Everybody's got to have their own little project instead of. I mean, I said it last week. America's streets ought to be paved in gold. Our total GDP, 21, $22 trillion. I mean, how can we not? How are we broke? I mean, that's impossible to do that.
It's spending just billions and trillions of
Yeah.
dollars.
I want my money, but I don't want Buddy to have his money, and I don't want you to have your money. But because mine's more important.
Yeah.
What
And then what ends up happening, everybody gets money.
was our total debt when Obama left? When like in the tens?
It's doubled. It's doubled since
I,
Obama.
I want to say it's
and
done
it's-
more than that.
Well,
I was thinking it was like
if you
low
look
teens.
at it, you look at every up until I think Trump first time, every president from Bush 41, from there forward, every president during their 8-year term outspent more than the entire U.S. debt from the beginning.
previous.
Right.
So it's doubled numerous times. And now, because it's so high, that it can't double. I mean, you can't go from 36 trillion to 72
Yeah,
trillion. That's impossible unless you're AOC or new green scam. But
I said, don't
it's
issue
so
that
high.
challenge.
It's so high that it can't double no more. But I've been looking at these numbers. They were saying Trump spent more than Obama during his 8 years versus 4 years. True, but he spent almost $4 trillion in that first year of coronavirus, keeping America going. Take that away, and I mean his average inflation over the 4-year term was only 1.4%.
Yeah.
But if you take the corona years out, he spent less money in debt increases than Obama did or George W. Bush. But George W. Bush had a war and Obama had a war, so it's in real, it's not the presidents that spend the money; it's Congress. They just sign the bills.
Yeah, and you talk about Corona money. A lot of that money went, and some people did. It helped some people genuinely
Yes.
to those checks.
And like anything,
Help
there's
them to do
corruption in there.
Yeah, but a lot of people took that. A lot of businesses
Yeah.
took that Corona money, and they invested that money to get a higher return.
They bought boats with it instead of putting it back into their employees.
And yes, let's talk about what happened, because that happened. People invested it and did different things with it than paying their employees.
Well, that's because
They
okay,
laid their employees off and took the money.
yes, and then didn't have to pay it back. Then got a lot of the loans got forgiven.
Yeah.
well, and I was talking to a guy who owns multiple businesses, and he was talking about taking the money. He said even if it doesn't get forgiven, the interest rate on it is lower than any loan
1%.
that you'll ever find. He said if I had to pay it back, I don't care.
Yeah.
Right, and that's how we looked at it. But we kept our 23 employees. We didn't lay off a single person
Sure.
Yeah.
during coronavirus.
But not everybody has the moral compass that you have, Craig, and not everybody.
Well, thank you, buddy. That's
Well,
the nicest
no, I
thing you
mean
ever
that.
said to
I
me.
mean that. You absolutely, sincerely. It's obvious from you and your Facebook stuff that you care about your employees and you care about everybody
Oh,
that
yeah.
works there. Okay,
No doubt.
So, but there are a lot of people in this world that the only thing that they really give a rip about is, like you said, 1%. Oh, well, I'm going to go invest this, and I'm going to take all this, and I'm guaranteed that I'm going to get a 4% return over here.
Right.
And they
Exactly.
took that. Yeah, and they took
put it
that
in the
money,
bank.
and then the government comes back and says, "Know what? That money I gave you, don't worry about it. Forgive it."
Which they were.
Well, and that's what
Yeah.
the guy was
It was gonna be.
banking on, that it would most likely be forgiven. And he said, even if I don't spend it the way it's supposed to be broke down and I don't get it forgiven, it's the best loan I'll ever get.
Right. You get your loan for 1%. You put it in the bank and get 4 or 5%.
Yeah.
or invested in the stock market.
Yes.
And
In his case,
That's
he would have
stress-free
invested.
money.
Yeah.
And people have actually bragged to me about that.
Yeah.
Have actually, this is how and they bragged to me about this is how I gamed the system.
see,
And
now,
I look at you and
Eric said something a second ago, talking about the corruption. How do you find corruption if you don't look for it?
Oh, absolutely. Follow
Yeah.
the money. Well, and that's what this whole everything, the whole evolution of Elon is absolutely fascinating to me. I am not an electric vehicle proponent. I'm not a fan of them.
I'm damn sure not.
So when Elon made the first viable electric vehicle that was, we'll say mass produced,
Mhm.
but his production was still kind of, for the U.S. population was kind of low. All the tree huggers that said, "Oh, you need to do this. You need to get the electric vehicle. It's better on the environment." Oh, Elon. And now all of a
loved him.
sudden they loved him, and now all of a sudden once they figured out he's not, exactly like they thought he was, they hate him.
They hate him only because he supports Trump.
Only because he
Get
supports
real.
Trump.
That's
That is the reason.
only damn reason. This guy is the visionary. He's the Ben Franklin of our time. He's the visionary of all visionaries on the whole planet.
Right.
He came over from South Africa.
Yeah, we know the story. You're
He's
running
scary.
over top of me. Hang on.
yeah.
You stop talking, boy.
No, I took a breath.
Oh,
So we look at that, and we all agree that the government needs to be reviewed. Well, they want to discredit him. Well, he's not an auditor. He's not a forensic accountant. That was the funniest one I ever seen.
Right.
Like, do you know what a forensic accountant really does?
Mm.
You don't need a forensic accountant to do an audit. I've been through dozens when I was with the bank.
mhm.
Now, when they start trying to track down where all was that yours? When they start trying to track down exactly where every dime and dollar went, there you might need a forensic accountant.
Right.
But you're right. If you don't look, you're not going to find it. Just let them look.
And why are people so upset with Elon looking
Mm-hmm.
instead of what he's finding?
Oh, well, he's going to see my social security number.
Well,
He can have my social security number. I'll mail it to him. I don't care.
Your bank, big banks, they had access to every customer's
Mhm.
social security number and their financial data.
Mhm.
There's 62,000 Social Security Administration employees. So I'm sure most, if not all, have access to your social security number. Every bank in America, every credit card company in America.
Every loan you ever tried to get.
Anytime you get
Rent.
a credit card, you hand over your social security number to your landlord like it's nothing. You give your
But
credit-
you will take your debit card and hand it to any
That's what I was going to say.
minimum wage employee on the planet
Without thinking, and all they
While you're in the car.
while you're in the
and all
car.
they got to do is go down here, get
Yeah.
that $15 swipe.
Yeah.
You know about that.
And
So we trust everybody on the planet except the most visionary guy on the planet who they actually think. And remember, what was it, PayPal that he started?
Yes.
yeah, it was PayPal.
So he had all
There's a
your
lot of-
banking
there's a lot of
information,
things he did
all your
there.
Social Security stuff, all of that. I think he even made a tweet about it, that if he would have wanted to capture Social Security numbers, he just took them out of PayPal.
Well, Elon Musk is he's an interesting character. He's on he's on. You can tell he's on the spectrum,
Yeah, he's got autism.
and he's George Washington too. He's the father of our country. He's artificially inseminating women all across the world. He is a scary dude.
He is.
Okay, no, and let me say this. He's scary. Okay, he is a visionary. He's brilliant.
No, there's no doubt about it.
He wants, and this is not up for debate. This is fact. He is all about putting chips in your brain, implants in your brain.
Well, Neuralink.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And it's working.
That's insane. Yeah, but where does that Neuralink stop? You know what I'm saying?
Well, that,
I mean-
that is technology to without getting into that rabbit trail, because I still want to stay on what we
Yeah.
were. That's to fix issues. That's to
And so far,
Sure, that's where it begins.
It's for treatment.
That's where it begins.
Yeah, but if you before you go down that, if you watch and listen to him when he talks about AI, he has been screaming for the last year and a half. We need controls on it. We need controls on
He
it.
don't like Sam Altman at all.
Yes,
Right.
and he wants controls.
Y'all missing my point. My point is not whether or not we need AI. My point, there's a battle for the AI, and we have to pick a side because AI is coming regardless.
Right.
Well, but I'm figuring you're going down the conspiracy theory of mind control and planting chips
Yeah,
in
'cause
the brains.
Because of what Neuralink's doing, real quick, they've got the wires in 3 people right now that are paralyzed. So they're moving screens and telephones with their thoughts.
Mhm.
Okay. Now his next project, after he gets some more of that done, is people that are quadriplegic. They've got a break in their spinal column. He thinks they can put from the Neuralink up here down to here where they can walk again. And if they can do that without all the equipment, the robotic equipment they're doing now, that would be just like beyond amazing. But who thinks of stuff like that and gets it done so quick?
Right.
I mean, I wish he would go after cancer.
We got a couple comments I wanted to hit on. Becky Benassi said, $5,000 check or pay down the debt.
Pay down the debt.
Pay down the debt.
Yeah.
No doubt
keep,
about it.
Keep it.
Let me speak on that real quick. If you are for Doge auditing our government, and then you turn right back around
For it or against it?
well, if you're for it, and you say yes, I am for this check coming back, you're a hypocrite. Okay, bar none.
Oh, yeah.
You are a hypocrite because you either want to cut it down or you don't.
Right.
Now, then the moral dilemma becomes, okay, well, they're going to give it back. Do I accept it? Do I take this? And then the question becomes, well, everybody else is taking it. Do I not take this $5,000? So, there's a lot of give and take in there, man.
What if the feds say, we're not taking it back? You mail it back to them and they tear it up.
You've got to be one principled person if everybody around you is taking. I'm just saying, this is the way it is. That's why I am for not sending this money back. I'm for paying down the debt.
Correct. That's
Because
what
I don't
we've
want to
gotta
make
do.
that decision.
We've got to do it.
I do not want to make that decision.
And it's 20% of all the money they find is what they're estimating those $5,000 checks.
I don't like it because it feels like a payoff. Here,
That's
shut up.
exactly what it is. Now,
Shut
think
up.
about it.
Here, shut up. Take your pittance.
That's what Trump will get in loyalty forever
Yeah.
by giving people that don't follow politics or nothing at all. Here we're getting more money.
And it'll be like COVID money. Walmart will
Right.
sell more big screen TVs that week.
Fast
And it will be like Bush did. Bush when he gave $600 per kid.
Yes.
When they were
Right.
back in 2001, was it?
I think so. Then you get taxed. on
Yeah,
it.
yeah. He just got a check. You got 3 kids out. Here's $1,800.
Supposedly that 750 that 700 not 750,000 750 they gave North Carolinians. They got to report that on their tax returns.
Oh wow.
That's insane.
Same thing with the 700
That's
they gave
insane.
them in Hawaii.
Let's see. Brian said, "I'm a controller for a company, but if you know how people work the system, you can stop the bleeding. Plus, Elon has special clearances as he builds rockets for NASA.
Right. Top secret clearance.
He does have top secret clearance, but there are areas in SpaceX that he cannot go that he does not have the clearance for. And I forget the name of it. Somebody with a military background out there will know. When you work on specific technology, you get a clearance for something very specific in detail. Like maybe you design the nozzle for the rocket, and a top secret clearance alone will not get you access to that.
And back to your point on Musk, I think it's kind of disingenuous because not you. I mean, I'm looking at. I've been reading Facebook posts, and I've come to the decision that people are just not informed, or they just don't want to be informed.
They read headlines.
They
Makes me
just
so
they
mad.
just
Yeah.
want and
only headlines.
and you read nobody elected Elon Musk, and everybody's like that, and I'm like, you know what? I lived through 4 years of freaking COVID. 4 years. I didn't elect Bill Gates, and I didn't elect Bill and Melinda Gates to go to and push these vaccines through the Gates Foundation to partner with the NIH, the CDC, and to push this stuff on us. I didn't elect Bill Gates to do that.
What
Right.
about Fauci? Did you elect him too?
I didn't elect Valerie Jarrett either.
You didn't.
No, yeah, I didn't. So you know, and Stephen Miller said it pretty much right. We elect. I should have done that in my. What is it, Edith Bucket?
Yeah.
Oh, Archie, I didn't elect.
No, I was still laughing.
Nobody elected.
Yeah.
Nobody elected him.
In the administrative side, there's only one guy elected, and that's
Yeah.
the president.
Right.
Yeah,
Not them other 3 million that run the federal government. It's just
right.
one.
Yeah.
1 out of 3 million. So
No, that's what I was laughing about. I was thinking about your Edith voice would have been great right there.
and Brian, I do not have a chip in my head yet. But
Yet.
if they want to put one in it, that'll keep me around a while. Yes, I'll take one. I think we beat that horse.
yep. That was a good little topic right there,
Yeah.
man.
Gavin Newsom. California constantly brags about being the 5th largest economy in the world. You know, so they're obviously got money out the wazoo. They were a couple of years ago. They were 70 some billion in the black. This year they're going to be 90 billion in the red. I don't know how you do that, but Newsom sent a letter to Congress today to the Speaker and the Senate Majority Leader, asking for $40 billion to rebuild some of the richest parts of California that burned. Now, we all know, obviously, that they don't maintain their land, or like, say, for example, Norway, which is a forested country, and they don't have these kind of fires every year. But
When they've been told that too, that
for
the
decades,
underbrush,
for
for
decades,
decades, that the underbrush is problematic.
and it could create jobs, you know, besides stopping everybody's house from burning down. But, you know, the mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass, she fired the fire chief yesterday, saying it was her fault. But you know, Bass said she didn't even know the Santa Anas were coming. So I think it was a KABC reporter said, "You didn't. We talked about it for over a week."
Right.
And you didn't know that it was in. And she goes, "Well, I was only going to be in Ghana for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. You know,
Right.
just 2 business days. And I didn't know fire waited till Monday through Friday to burn."
I've never seen that
Have you
one.
ever noticed that?
No.
Oh,
Nope,
well,
nope.
yeah. So Newsom's asking for $40 billion.
Well, and they're
from
always
the federal
having
government.
water problems too in that area.
Well, when you hadn't built a reservoir since the 1980s,
Right.
kind of happens when you run out of water. But should we give? Well, California's going to get the money. There ain't no doubt about that. But should they get it over Florida, North Carolina, Kentucky, and Hawaii
Over?
before? Should that $40 billion go to them before they take care of North Carolina, Florida?
The only
Eastern
logical
Kentucky,
way
and
for
Hawaii?
me, the only logical way for me, I think they all should be helped. But the only logical way would be to do it in order of disaster.
But do you print money to do it, or do you pull back from?
I was saying you do it the
other
old-fashioned
countries?
way. You just go into debt.
Yeah.
Do you pay for it by pulling money from all these other countries we're helping?
You know, why don't we just use some of the Doge money?
I don't know.
I'm asking.
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Look, you
They're
got to pay
pulling that money
California. Pay the man as much as you don't. As you and I both don't like Gavin Newsom.
Yeah.
Okay, pay the man. Give him the money.
Oh, we got to help.
Yeah,
California.
give him the money. The people in California deserve that money just as much as the people, and it's not the people. Indirectly, it is because they keep putting the same people in office that have these insane land management policies.
Yep.
Indirectly, it's their fault, but not not, and it doesn't matter how much money, whether it's a great neighborhood or a crappy neighborhood, does not matter.
No.
They are citizens.
I agree.
They're citizens of the United States.
But I was asking, should California get it over? these
Over,
other
no.
places?
That's why I
not
said
over.
in
That's
order
insane.
in
Or
order
before-
that it
or
happened.
before,
No,
no.
you know.
in order that it happened.
I mean, I don't know.
It's the
why
only
with all-
non-partial way.
Yeah, with all the military that's in North Carolina, I don't know why we just didn't send the military in and fix them roads in a couple days
Mm-hmm.
instead of they're still screwed up, and the citizens went in with their from Tennessee and Kentucky and West Virginia with their bulldozers from the coal mines and got the roads at least where those folks could get in and out.
I say you send in some combat engineers, they'll have that stuff cleared out and ready to rock.
Yeah, they won't mess around. Now it might not be perfect, and they might kill some weed somewhere that don't grow somewhere
That
else
only
on the
grows in
planet.
North Carolina.
Yeah, but too bad. It's people over plants.
Yeah.
Let's see. Maine. Talk about the Maine governor, the state of Maine, Maine. Her and Trump bumped heads at the National Governors Association meeting. Y'all hear about that?
Hear about it. I watched it. Yeah, I watched
So
it.
you saw it live too?
Saw it live.
Go ahead. Tell
I
us.
mean, they're for me. I mean, again, I don't have to explain myself. I voted for Trump. I will vote for it. I will vote for him again. I would, knowing what I know now, regardless. I thought that his comments, there is no way that you can legitimize and I guess he's doing turnabout is fair play, but the way that he delivers his message is basically it's like a dictator. I mean, it's like
It's pointed.
pointed. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, we'll see you in court.
But what is her saying? Well, we'll see you in court. Is that pointed?
I'm just going to. The Democrats are not used to the Republicans coming back at them.
Correct. That's exactly
Coming
right.
back at them because they have used shame and the name, and when everything is racist and when everything is
Cancel culture.
when everything is racist and everything is a constitutional crisis and nothing is. There is racism.
Transphobic, homophobic.
Yeah.
Insert your favorite phobia.
Those things absolutely exist. But when you start talking about things that are mundane, that that really are not, and you say, that's there's that voice again. Here's hello, folks. Don't tell me I'm here. When you start doing stuff like that, and when everything is like that, it loses its luster. Personally, when I just questioned the effectiveness of the COVID vaccine when it first started coming out, and I said, I'm going to wait and see. And the vitriol of the people came at me, and it was one after another. You're insensitive. You're selfish.
You don't care about
You
your
don't
grandmother.
care. Yeah, and it just never stopped. Here's an example.
Are we off topic off the Maine governor thing?
Well, that's where we're going. That's,
Okay.
That's,
All right.
that's
We're taking it the long way.
That's
Okay.
where
We're taking the
but that's
scenic
okay.
route.
It's a podcast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
I don't know. We went from 30 viewers to 25 in the amount of time it took you to say that.
sorry.
I'm kidding.
well, but the way that and I'm not even really a Republican. I'm just not. I don't line up with with all the Republicans' values. I'm more of a independent /
Nazi kind of.
yeah. I'm a Nazi. Yeah,
Depending on who you ask.
But once
Hey, buddy, this is live.
I
Yeah,
know.
somebody will
can
take
grab
that. Somebody could take that clip.
Yeah, but once all those insults get thrown at you, eventually you just here they come again, man.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's where Trump's at
And
now.
I don't know.
And he, people said, well, he's threatened to hold federal funds from Maine. It's like he's the first president that's ever threatened to hold federal funds from anybody.
Right.
That's been going on for 100 years. So
Dick
but-
Ratliff, you said Fed should not give a nickel to anyone until the national debt is paid off. Anyone, anywhere,
does
as
that
in
include the United States?
Go ahead.
Does that include the United States? Dick, I know Dick. Me and Dick went to school together.
I know.
Does that include?
You just
the
ran
United
right over top of me.
States? Well, y'all run over me too, big boy. Turnabout fair play, 2 against 1.
You told us to. What was it, Buddy said?
That was Buddy.
It's okay if you bump heads. People like that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, we
But,
don't have to. We don't have to be kumbaya here,
But the
dude.
Maine
Kumbaya.
governor just flat out said, "No, we're going to keep doing this. We're going to allow boys to dominate girls, because I think it's
Yeah.
Maine that boys that won all their track titles for like last 3 years, state track titles. But I guess Trump will see her in court, because I mean he's got the federal government, she's got Maine.
Right.
Maybe she can send a black bear down there or something.
Well, and Bondi's not holding back anything either.
No, she's awesome.
She's brutal.
I just, it's about time Washington D.C. got shook up with looking at the money they're spending and what they're spending it on.
And I think it all comes down, when you see Elizabeth Warren screaming her head off, they don't care about your grandfather's Social Security. Look, lady, they told you from the very beginning, Social Security and Medicare is not being touched.
Right.
That is obligated,
Well, why not
mandatory
lie?
suspending.
Why not lie? Well, I mean, say they're going after it.
Yeah.
Those bills they passed the other day, all the Democrats talked about was it was a budget killer.
Right.
It had nothing to do with the budget.
No, not at all.
But they just make this crap up, and MSNBC and CNN run with it, so people believe it.
That's the frustrating part about all of this is, and I don't know who to be more aggravated at, either the news media or the people that only read headlines. The news media, and there's a great little clip from, I can't think of the guy's name now, but they talk about the media just trying to be first.
Yeah.
The Denzel Washington, what a responsibility you have to be accurate, and they'll throw out these little snippets, and the first thing that people hear is what they believe.
Well, because they'll MSNBC, a buddy sent me a little thing. MSNBC just cut loose one of their most popular hosts, I guess, right?
Well, I don't think she's very popular, but she's
Highest rated for MSNBC.
Yeah.
Which ain't saying a lot.
yeah.
But Joy Reid
Yeah.
has lost her show,
Yep.
and they're replacing her with Simone Sanders, Gold Bar Bob's daughter, last name Menendez. That really is.
Yeah.
And
Is it really?
yes, that's his daughter.
You're kidding
No,
me.
and Richard
What an
Steele.
incestuous little place
Yeah.
that is.
Richard Steele, who used to be head of the Republican Party, he's flipped.
Yeah.
So they're going to be taking over that show.
Yeah.
But I thought that was just kind of funny. So everybody's joking around on Twitter that the next target is The View.
Yeah. I think we need to keep them going, man. I'm all for The View.
Man, I see all these comments that they're just intimidated by intelligent women. There's one smart woman on that show, and that's Sunny.
Yeah.
And the other,
She's the biggest racist in America.
I don't care. She's still intelligent. She's a lawyer. And she's intelligent.
So every
I don't
lawyer's
agree.
smart?
No, I don't agree with her, but she's not dumb. I mean, she's educated. The other ones are just blabbering, bitter women.
Every time somebody watches The View, a conservative is born. Okay. So,
Well, have you noticed
I'm all for people watching it.
that girl on the far right that worked for Trump went against Trump until Trump won? Now she's starting to go back into the Republican fold again. Have y'all noticed that?
Who was that?
The long brown-haired. She sits on the far right.
Yeah.
She's in the position 5,
I don't watch them enough.
opposite
man.
of Whoopi.
No,
She's been on CNN, and she's sure talking Republican now. I
Right.
guess she wants back into good graces, but she was ripping them hard while Biden was in office.
no.
Yeah.
But anything to keep your big money job, I guess.
I would rather give a tiger a root canal in a phone booth than watch The View, man.
MSNBC settled another lawsuit, another slander lawsuit. They went after some guy on TV multiple times. Rachel Maddow was one of them that did it, and they just settled. And Comcast NBC, the reason people are thinking that they settled that lawsuit was because they're getting ready to spin off MSNBC and see if it can stand on its own. So CNN, NBC, CBS, MSNBC, Fox, all of them have settled lawsuits. Lately, it's been the liberal side of the news. And so what has made people finally start standing up to the media and start suing them for when they make slanderous remarks about them? Because remember the old newspaper adage, how do you fight somebody that prints stuff with barrels of ink? You know?
Well, they're not. They're not who they are. They are not who they want to be, and that is killing them. And they're having to get more and more salacious and walk that line between reporting the news and slander. And you talked earlier about the fact that they just want to be the first to report.
Mhm.
Those days are gone. They are over with the advent of social media the way we have it, especially with X, Facebook, and you can just look at those two platforms right there, Facebook and X. X is right now, Facebook is 3 days ago, 2 days ago.
Right.
I mean, it's that quick. And so if X is today and Facebook is 2 days ago, the mainstream media is 3 days ago.
Yeah.
Print media, like to the print. You think about what's just happened in our little bitty community here. What do we got? I mean, do they do it? I don't even know. They got 3 editions a week.
I think something like it. That's all print media, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got three editions a week, and the pictures on the front are bigger than my iPad.
Yeah.
They take up. It's like, wow. Wait a minute. Let me unfold this to see what this picture is.
But on their supporting side, they keep winning. They've won it several years in a row now. The best mid-sized newspaper in Kentucky.
How many are there?
Well, I don't know that.
4.
I'm just saying it's an award.
I'm not saying anything against them. I'm just asking how many are
Yeah,
there.
I have no idea.
How many are still in circulation?
Well, it becomes it's a challenge. I mean, you can't get stuff to print as quick as social media gets stuff
Right.
out.
No.
You just can't do it. And I don't know what the answer is.
Well, the answer is, I mean, not the answer, but for example, this is just when the plane crashed
That's where I was going to go.
a couple weeks ago.
In D.C.
All right.
The medical plane or the helicopter
the
plane?
helicopter that hit the plane.
Yeah, when that crashed, and the one crashed in Philadelphia. Was it Philadelphia the one that
I know the one. As soon as
The-
I heard about it,
well, regardless,
Yeah.
you go to X and you're watching people on the ground
videoed it.
while it is still burning,
Yeah.
while things are still burning.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at and it's insane.
And their people are sharing their doorbell cameras that saw, that see it coming in. And there's one guy that goes live on X called Agenda Free TV. This guy is on everything. If you're looking, if there's bombings in Israel, the jet crash in D.C., the fires in California, this guy, because I don't go to the TV news no more. I go straight to Twitter or straight to X.
Yeah.
Because people on the ground, citizen journalists,
Yes,
are putting information out instantly.
and most of it's just raw.
It's
Most
raw
of it's without commentary.
Right. It's just images with sound.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, and that's why, what's the liberal one that's trying to compete against X? There's some Blue Streak or Blue something.
Sky.
Blue Sky.
Yeah.
Um,
By the way, all the liberals are leaving X for Blue Sky
well,
that are all coming back now.
I was going to say, because I darn sure see a bunch of them on,
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
on
Sorry.
X. But,
Sorry for the
okay.
interruption.
That's all right. Let's see. I think that's about all that I've got. And I know Eric's, I think that's all we're going to, a couple of people said I need to talk closer to this microphone.
I haven't been reading the comments.
Let's see, I'm looking back to see. Oh, here's the thing. I ran into Congressman Comer. And on March 5th, and I tried looking up on the legislative calendar, but I couldn't find it. But he said on March 5th, the House Oversight's going to hold a hearing on sanctuary cities. They had to subpoena the Chicago mayor, Michael Johnson, and the Denver mayor, Denver Michael Johnston, and the Chicago mayor, Brandon Johnson, and to get them to appear. And the New York city mayor, Adams, he didn't have to be subpoenaed. He just said he'd be there. I'm saying if that, I'm not going to miss that for nothing. I think that'll be must-see TV because they'll have everybody. It's just going to be interesting seeing the dynamics from the left side saying how great sanctuary cities are and the right side saying how many billions of dollars are being spent. Because when Doge pulled back that $80 million from New York City, they're suing the federal government. They want that $80 million.
Right.
Because I guess the Roosevelt Hotel, which is owned by Egypt, I guess they haven't lowered their prices. They need to help out the poor people.
Doubled.
Is that what it is?
They
They're $600 a night or something.
Yeah, but not only is the government paying to house illegal migrants, but they're paying double the nightly rate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And the hotel's owned by Egypt, right?
yes.
Is
yes.
it the country or somebody in Egypt?
They're
They're making mint.
I didn't break down that. I didn't.
Didn't dig up for it.
It's a pyramid scheme.
You get that, Eric? Pyramid scheme. Egypt.
That's a lot of government.
But so that's going to be, again, our congressman from our first district in Kentucky chairs the oversight committee, and there's been some interesting stuff, and there's some interesting. If you look up the members on the oversight committee, there's some real go-getters on there, and but it was an interesting conversation with Congressman Comer about this upcoming hearing. So I'm going to make sure that I watch it, and then we'll close out on a ridiculous thing, ridiculous thing. The Wisconsin Democrat governor proposes in law, making it state law in Wisconsin, replacing the mother with inseminated person. Your wife is not the mother of your 3 boys. She's an inseminated person.
Well, that's wild because it's gone
by a man.
Wait a minute. Is it inseminated person or birthing person?
No, this is Wisconsin. He's trying to get it passed right now. It's all over the news. Replace the term mother with inseminated person.
I guess the idea of that is to be different, to draw 5 minutes of fame, because the birthing person or that one's already been used.
Birthing person is not nondescript enough. Than inseminated person.
Maybe it's something in Wisconsin.
I find that demeaning
completely. And who inseminated her?
Well, I don't know.
A man.
Maybe it's to get around some language where there are some IVF.
The inseminator and an inseminatee.
Yeah, I don't know.
It might be. It may be in vitro. It may be the IVF stuff.
Nah.
I'm just telling you.
It's that woke bull crap.
I'm just telling you.
There's no doubt about it. There was they want to get rid of father also, but it wasn't as ridiculous as this, as the inseminated person.
Yeah.
So that's all the questions I've got. Did you want to bring something else up, buddy?
I got nothing, man. I'm just glad to be here and glad to be, not pushing up daisies.
I'm glad I woke up. My feet were able to hit the floor.
Yep.
Me too then.
Inseminated that's just demeaning. You've reduced a woman to a uterus at that point.
Well, you go to school. Who's your inseminated person?
To a host.
Can you get your inseminated?
Why are women across the country not just going nuts?
Well, can you get
because
your inseminated person?
I could have said something, but I didn't.
Are you glad that you didn't?
Yes.
Or okay.
I mean, but you got PTO. Can you get your inseminated person to come in and bring us some brownies to the school event? How stupid can it be?
Yeah.
So I'm looking through my notes here. I think that's everything. Oh, other than UK and Louisville. I don't know if you saw this, buddy, but I put Louisville beats another ACC scrub.
Wait, hold on. Beats another ACC scrub.
Yeah.
Now, what does that mean,
89-81.
Craig? What does that mean?
Do you know what scrub means?
I understand that. What does
They're
it mean?
not very good.
What does that mean? Does that mean Kentucky?
That means they're not very good.
Okay. Does that mean?
I'm talking about Louisville. Don't change the topic. I'm
Okay.
talking about Louisville. I ain't talking about Kentucky.
All right. I'll talk about Louisville is second in the ACC.
Here, I muted him so you can finish. Go
no,
ahead.
it's good. No shish. It
Mute me one more time. I dare you. See ya.
Louisville has exceeded expectations this
yeah.
year, man.
21-6.
22-6. I
Oh, it's
think
22?
22-6. Yeah, we are 14 of 15 since getting beat by like 5 at your place or 6 at your place.
But I think what he was trying to say is Louisville can only beat scrubs.
No, Buddy knows what I said.
Well, here's the
Wait
funny
a minute.
thing.
It's
Here's
an
the funny thing.
underhanded compliment.
Poke the bear.
Here's the funny thing about that is you hear all these UK fans all the time. They'll go, "Our conference is so good. We just beat up on everybody else because we're so good." Everybody and you know what? There's 3 good teams in the SEC. There's Florida, Alabama.
I think those are ranked 1, 2, and 3 in the
Yeah,
top
but
25.
but then you got Kentucky, who's down here. They're almost in the cellar.
No, they're 17th in the country.
No, I'm talking about the
In the
SEC.
SEC? Oh,
And see
okay.
what they do is they rank you guys so high, artificially rank you guys so high. So when
Artificially.
artificially
So are
rank
they
you guys,
inseminated Wildcats?
will you let me finish?
Will you stop saying stupid stuff?
No, good gosh, they artificially rank you guys so high that when you look, when you're in the middle of the conference, you're still ranked in the top 20, which is insane.
That's how good the SEC is.
Which is insane, and you're not there. You're not even in the. You're barely in the middle.
So we're still in the middle. We're
Wait
just
a minute,
barely
there's-
in the middle.
There's 3 good teams in the SEC. They're all in the top 1, 2, and 3.
In the whole
And we're not
country.
one
Everybody else is
In the whole
mediocre.
country.
Everybody else in the SEC is
What was-
mediocre.
what was the pre-conference record? Like 189-7?
What are you talking about?
Pre-conference, before the SEC starts. What was all the SEC school record?
It's
It was
absolutely
like 189-7.
so.
something
You're
like
so
that.
you're going to pound your chest about beating Ball State and Eastern Kentucky
and Duke
and the Norsemen.
and North Carolina
and,
and Kansas.
You know
Yeah, I'll pound my chest about beating them.
that is
You Pike.
insane.
I think we
The
did we
funniest
not beat
thing.
Duke?
The funniest thing
Hey,
is
did
Eric.
we beat Duke? Did we beat Duke?
Yes, you did. Yeah, it was a good
Thank you.
win.
I just want to make sure we beat Duke.
The funniest thing is when you get on immediately after a UK ball game, and you can all I do is put in refs in the little thing and see how many UK fans are crying about refs. or officials. It's hilarious.
And what I say is a ref didn't miss a shot.
Fact.
So, but Louisville is 21 or 22-6. Can't take that away from them. They are second in ACC. They're going to finish second in ACC. Now Kentucky, we lost, granted, to the number 4 team in the country, not the number 807th team in the country. But without 3-point guards,
yeah, you got to have a point guard, man.
yeah, I think we did pretty well. We couldn't even get the ball over half court half time.
You're
I
not
don't know
going
how
to
many
go for
turnovers
it.
we had. It was too many.
And you know who the sleeper is, don't you?
In what?
In the NCAA.
Who's that?
My gosh, did you
I know
see
who it
St.
is.
John's today?
St. John's, yeah.
Holy crap!
Yeah.
Rick Pitino has got those guys that they're like 24-4.
Remember when he was running the ground? He is getting so much national praise now. It is ridiculous.
Yep.
How can Pitino be this good over this many decades? Not years, decades.
Goat.
Oh,
Goat.
No doubt.
Greatest of all time.
Yeah, no, he's adapted to small ball, 3-point shot, beat each other to death underneath.
Big East. Remember Big East? Yeah.
Just mall ball,
Yep.
and now with NIL.
Shooter's game.
Yeah,
Right.
look at what he's doing now. I mean, it's unbelievable
Right.
what he's doing now.
Everybody hates me now because I was ragging on UK. Everybody. That's funny.
But that's okay.
You're a
See,
traitor.
here's the thing, Eric.
I'm listening. I'm
All right,
listening.
here's the thing, Eric. Everybody has a good year, but UK's had a good century. Think about it.
Yeah, man, you've got one title.
I think we got 8 last time I checked.
Oh, okay.
That's
I was
right,
thinking
8.
this century.
Yeah, well, is UCLA.
I was thinking
is
recent
UCLA
century. I was like thinking back
See,
from.
that's
I was say, are you talking about 100 years running, or are
that's
you
like-
talking about the 25?
since existence.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
like, it's do you run down UCLA and their greatness?
Yeah. Notre Dame was bad.
you
It
can't.
was this this tops in football for a long time too.
Do you run them down for their record?
Huh?
They were the best. I mean, if you're a world champion Tiddlywinks in 1961, well, they still call you. They call you world champion.
They call that we call that
Spit it out.
Has-beens, man. Has-been.
Better to be a has been than a never was.
I agree. There's no
There's
no
a lot
doubt.
of never was.
But the right now, Louisville is not the right now, and Kentucky is not the right now. Neither one of us are the right now.
Where's Louisville? I don't know this because I haven't looked.
What?
I know Kentucky's still a 3 seed in the bracketology by ESPN. What's Louisville? Are they 3 or 4?
I don't know, but that is irrelevant to me.
It's irrelevant, but it's a talking point during the season. If all these people that say the top 25 don't mean nothing, well, then why do they do it? You know, it's like, why keep scoring?
Let me look at bracketology.
I mean, if that's
today.
what it is, then just don't.
It'll
play the
change
season at all.
tomorrow.
Sure, it will, but don't even play the season. Just go straight to the NCAA tournament. You know, don't keep score.
Yeah.
This is bragging points among sport fans and people that say the top 25 don't mean anything.
Oh wow, you guys are on the bubble.
Their team, no, we are not. it's because their team ain't in the top 25 and hardly ever is.
Let's see here.
Let's see the top 3 teams with the most national championships:
Who are they?
UCLA,
Then who?
Kentucky, UConn.
Yep.
Yeah, and
who did
UK
St. John's beat
UK is
today?
a blue bud.
Who
Blue
did
bud.
St. John's beat today?
UConn.
UConn.
Yeah, UConn has 6, UCLA has 11, and we have
how many have they won
8.
this century? 3 or 4?
Who?
Connecticut.
3.
3. I
Yep.
mean, but
They've won 3 in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Or last 10. Yeah.
Louisville's in the top 11.
yeah, Louisville used to be 4th.
They only have 2.
Yeah,
though.
but
Western
no, but
Kentucky.
you add in the 2013 one that is coming back. That championship is
Are they
coming back.
giving
It's
that
coming
back?
back.
Where's
It's coming back.
Where's Western Kentucky? They're in the top 10 too, aren't they?
I don't know.
WKU. They were number 4 there for a while.
Mm-mm.
No.
I'm saying no because you've got San Francisco, Oklahoma, North Carolina State, and several others at 2, and then UCLA at 11.
Oh, you're doing NCAA. I'm thinking all-time victories.
No.
Yeah.
National championships.
Yeah. San Francisco won theirs in the Bill Russell.
That's the
days,
only one that matters, right?
back to back.
This is
The
ridiculous.
title.
It all matters.
They've got us.
Numbers.
They've got Louisville as a 6 seed now, and you want to talk about some bull crap?
Y'all are lucky to be a 6.
Bull crap. Look at this. They got listen. This is how crooked the NCAA is. Hang on, let me go back here.
Is that because y'all are just a 6 seed?
No, look. They've got us as a 6 and Kentucky as a 3 and playing in the second round.
SEC, baby. They're getting all kinds. We got 8 losses now. 8 losses.
You're not. You don't even have a winning record in your conference,
6.
and you're a 3. And you're.
Man, that just kills you, don't it?
No, I know it's. I know it's all about money, and I know it's ridiculous.
We don't bring no money to the SEC, to the NCAA tournament. We're going to be there anyway.
No. The
SEC is probably going to have 13 teams in the NCAA tournament, which will be close to what the Big East, or maybe even more than the Big East did back in the day,
right.
back in John Thompson's day.
And how many of those are going to get out of the first round?
I'd say all of them.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me?
And I'm not going to make a bet because that'd be
No,
a
you
stupid
can
bet.
You can bet with me. I will bet with
A
you right now
Coca-Cola?
on air right now.
A Coca-Cola.
Regardless, whatever you want to bet, lunch at Da Vinci's. How's that?
Well, how do I win there?
That's what I'm saying.
What do I win? I already own.
I'll pay double.
Oh, okay.
I'll pay double.
I can't do that.
All right,
that's bad customer service.
So what I'm going to
we could
say
trade
is
pizza for bricks.
if there are 8, you're saying 8 teams get in,
13.
or
13
excuse
and
me,
16.
13 get in.
13 and
I'm going to
16.
say if 13 get in, more than half will not make it out of the first 2 rounds and move on to round of 32.
50% won't. Okay, I'll take that bet.
All right,
Yeah, I'll take it.
got it.
I mean, Arkansas's on the bubble, and they suck.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I
saying.
think Arkansas's last in the SEC, and they're in the first 4 in or first 4 out.
Yeah,
And they're the last place in the
Arkansas is on the bubble. Texas is on the bubble.
All they got to do is beat one of the top 5 teams in the SEC, and they're in.
Georgia's first 4 out. So North Carolina first 4 out. Sorry, Tar Heels. Yep, and you know it's good to be able to cheer this year. All right, man, let's wrap this up. I'm hungry.
I'm not. Well, we ate beforehand. You know, it's called planning. You usually eat before we get started.
Yeah,
Yeah, you usually have that stinking Jimmy John's hot sub that
I'm sorry.
His buddy
That
ever called-
lingers.
Eric, his buddy ever called you to say, "Hey, man,
not
y'all
once.
want me to bring you something?"
He's not called me,
No.
but you did bring us food.
Yeah, thank you.
I brought you my presents today, guys,
Okay,
with a C.
all right.
Well, we like presents with the NT.
All right.
Take us out, Eric.
Well, I
The
guess
following all that stuff.
the what?
You know, everybody, give us a follow and a like on our Pod Force One Facebook page.
That's right. And I put that in there. Look at Pod Force One and give us a follow. We're going to be going live on that after we get past the 60-day.
How much longer we got? About
I don't
35?
probably about 35.
Okay.
We'll be going live on that, so follow that. When we go live, you'll be notified that we're live. In the event that we might be running behind or having technical difficulties or whatever. So follow, share, and like, and we would appreciate it.
Give me some bumper music, Eric.
Bumper music.
Yep.
Pod Force One.
Dang, I didn't know we had bumper music.
That's just some random music that's on there. Oh, you guys have a good night. I'll leave you with that 70s jam.